Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who's new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video where we're actually going to play with two palettes, and that is going to be my latest, newest palettes from Glam Shop Poland, and this is how they look. Now, you gotta forgive me for not being able to pronounce this. This is the Rosowisko, I think, palette, which looks like this, which is a beautiful, beautiful, kind of a dark leaning cold purple palette, which is so nice. And also the outer packaging is really cute. It's like a lavender field, so nice. Okay, then we also have this camouflage palette, and this is called Glam W Moro. This is how she looks. Okay, and this is how she looks from the inside. Okay, both of them a little bit more on the dark side, a little bit more on the muted side, in spite of being colorful. At least I feel that way. But anyway, I'm going to definitely talk about that aspect of it also in the review part at the end of the video. I have done 2 looks each with the palette, and this palette, 2 looks each, and today we're going to combine them in my review look. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm also going to swatch those palettes for you, and I'm going to show you in pictures. Before the review, I'm going to show you the other looks that I've done with the palettes. So sweetie, if you've just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist, and this is pajama time. This is when I film. That's why I'm a little bit comfortable now. And later, for the review part, you will see me with my finished styling and everything coming together. So please watch till then. And if you like it here, then please subscribe to my channel, because that would just be awesome. Okay, sweeties, let us go in because why not? Let's just zoom you in a little bit. And I do have an idea. I want to talk to you about something again, of course. And I also have an idea about how the look should turn out. I want to do a bit of cut crease situation, but not one of my super winged out ones, but kind of start the same way but stop earlier. That's basically what I'm going to try to do. And honestly, I don't have a lot of experience with that, but let's see. Okay, I want to start with this one because this gives me more depth than the other one. And I'm going to go in with maybe this shade. Maybe this one right here, which is Sandy. Okay, so let us do that. I have primed one eye because, as always, I'm doing one eye on camera and one eye off camera, because otherwise you would sit here for a very long time, sweetie. So you are welcome. Okay, and I'm gonna of course have to be really careful, because if I'm using both palettes, I'm using basically colors that are opposite on the color wheel, more or less. So I'm gonna not mix them, and that is the reason why I want to do one of my cut creases. Okay, so basically I'm a bit careful now doing this. I also have to say that I have quite a bit of fallout here already, but that is actually something that I already know from my previous Glam Shop palettes. So never mind that. That is the reason why I don't do my foundation before, you know, because I want to be able to just work and create something that I really want to create and not be held back by being super careful, you know. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to slowly build up the intensity. And then I definitely also want to deepen this up eventually with one of those amazing shades in the palette. I'm going to show you in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to just drag this out a tiny little bit instead of like super crazy like I usually do. And I just kind of want to fade this out a little bit. Just like something like that. Because I don't feel like having the super crazy wing today. Now again, I have not done this a lot, so I don't know how this is going to work out, but I think this could be nice. It has the potential for something nice. Okay, sweeties, I want to talk to you about something else, because maybe you remember some time ago I spoke to you about weight loss and about stopping to self-sabotage. That was my review of the Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos. You will find it definitely also in the playlist of my reviews. And I spoke in this video about a lot of stuff that kind of really resonated with you guys, which is so nice, and I thank you for this amazing feedback. Like, really, I I was surprised, but not. Let me just get another brush. And I want to go into with Rizosiek something. Sorry, I'm not trying to butcher this. This is really not anything that I would know how to pronounce. Okay, I'm just going to blend this out a little bit. This is super smooth. This is a super smooth shadow, really beautiful. So anyway, I got so much feedback on this video, besides the looks, that the looks look beautiful and everything, but also a lot about how what I spoke about really resonated with you. And that was really nice, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And I kind of felt like, okay, so maybe let's go a little bit into the next step. And I know from personal experience that it is probably nothing that is completely new, but also from personal experience, I know that I kind of have to sometimes be reminded of the obvious thing. You know, I'm just taking my bone color mat and placing this a little bit here. Sometimes in life we get distracted. Sometimes the obvious thing that is right in front of us is not so obvious to us because we're distracted, we are busy with other things, we sometimes just forget, you know? And I experience that a lot when it comes to my mental health, when I get panicky and stuff like that. And I know that I have tools to deal with it. But, you know, it happens to me a lot that I then just sit there and feel the wave of panic washing over me. And I feel like, wow, I have nothing, you know? And then I speak to friends and they say, but girl, you can do this or that or that. You know what I mean? And I know I have those tools. In general, I have them, or in theory, I have them. But sometimes I have to be reminded that I do have options, okay? So that is not the topic. This is just the introduction, apparently. So what I really wanted to talk to you about is, of course, in that topic of weight loss. And if you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, again, you can watch my other videos in connection to that. There is also a video playlist with my weight loss journey, because I actually lost a huge amount, like a whole person. I lost a whole person in weight. So again, what I want to say before I go into this is not about body shaming, sweeties. This is not, I'm not about that at all. And please don't take it that way when I'm talking about this subject. But I know from experience and also from teaching about this topic that there is a lot of need for this, because there are a lot of people who are miserable with that. If you are not miserable with that, then that is totally fine, and you can just watch me for the sake of the makeup. You know, it's that simple. Okay, sweeties, the thing is, I wanted to talk about reasonable goals today. Okay, so, and also, like in last time's video, you can just put it into perspective of like whatever your trouble is. Okay, it doesn't need to be weight loss. It can just as well be you finding a job, the job of your dreams. Okay, all right. So what I hear a lot is I want to lose weight because my son is getting married in 3 months. And then you look at the person and you ask yourself, okay, so how much do you want to lose? Or you ask that person, how much do you want to lose? And she says like 20 kilos or 15 kilos. And I'm like, oh, good luck. Good luck with that one. Okay, so that is the thing that I want to talk about, because you know what? Reasonable goals lead to success. Yes, it's going to take longer, but this is going to be the success that you're going to be able to keep. You might be able to lose 10 kilos by like crazy starvation diets, which I absolutely am against. You might be able to do it, but I promise you, on the evening of your son's wedding, you will start to shovel everything into your mouth that can possibly go in, because you feel like now you deserve it. You've made it. The photographer is gone. You know, and that's it. And now, like, no more rules, you know. And that is usually how it is. And I know that from my own personal experience, because I've done every sin that can be committed, you know. So yeah, this is basically the idea. Now I want to go in this spectacular shade, which is this one here. This is a matte with micro glitters, which is beautiful. And this is Beige Rose. maybe. Okay, let me just find a bit of a smaller brush. Do I have anything? Maybe this one. And this might still be too big. Yeah. Should I say that's what she said? I don't know. Oh, I just love that. Anyway, it might be too big. Sorry, I'm a kid. You know, I'm really a kid. Okay, so anyway, that is basically what I want to talk to you about, because reasonable goals make you or set you up for success. If you know that you want to, I don't know, lose 8 kilos in 3 months, that is a pretty reasonable goal, you know. You will also have to work for that. It's not going to come for free, but that is something that can be done, and it can be done in a healthy way. Now, I have done starvation diets. I have had bulimia. I have had anorexia. I know everything about starving, about punishing myself, and I'm very, very open about this because this is how I deal with it, you know? And because the tendencies are still there. I always, even now, punish myself or reward myself with food. And that is something that I cannot get quite over. And that's just the thing, you know, it's a fact. And the thing is, the second you don't judge yourself for it anymore, the second you just take it as a fact without stuff attached to it, without crazy emotions attached to it, without all the guilt attached to it, then you're already one step further, you know? So, if you want to lose weight or do something for your body, forget about losing weight, just do something for your body, because we've all had a very, very rough time this last year plus, and a lot of people, just from staying home, being bored, being panicky, whatever, all of these things turned to food for comfort. Believe me, I have done it too. And I don't judge you for it, because it is kind of a very, very natural thing to happen, to turn to food for comfort, because also when we're stressed, our body kind of needs more nutrition. The thing is, though, that we don't necessarily turn to the nutritional options, you know, when we try to comfort ourselves. There is really not a lot of nutrition in eating a bucket of ice cream, you know, and I would do that. I would absolutely do that. It's amazing the amounts of food that I can eat, you know? So I've not done that recently, but I've done it in the past, you know? And then of course you feel guilty for being such a failure, and then you just turn to more food because you need more comfort. So this is basically the cycle that has to be broken, because otherwise it's gonna be a vicious cycle, you know? Let me just go in one more time with the shade Sandy. That was the first one that I used, and just sort of, I kind of blended all over here. And then I hope we're at the stage that we can do the cut crease. So if you have a reasonable goal, then of course everything that is connected to that topic is already less scary. Because if you stand at the bottom or at the foothills, I don't know what the proper English word is, of Mount Everest, and you know that within I don't know, 2 weeks you have to climb that thing, and you're not prepared, you will not be able to do it, you know? Let me just get my MAC paint pot. It should be hiding somewhere here. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to try to do this while I'm talking to you, so I should get an award for this. Scary. Hashtag scary. Let me get the brush. Okay, if you are doing the same thing, but you're standing at the foot of a mountain that is not even a mountain, but it's a hill, you know? It's like a hill that you can hike up on. You know, that is way more reasonable, and it will not freak you out, and it will not make you to already kind of look for the escape before you are, you know, even starting your journey. And there is this saying, every journey begins with the first step, and that is what it is. And this is what I did when I had my enormous weight loss. Because yes, I knew I would have to lose 60 kilos, which is around 130 pounds. I always forget the number. I don't know, because I don't think in pounds. But it was an enormous number. And I knew that I would have to lose a crazy amount. And if I thought about that, I would freak out and run away and go and get myself something to eat, you know? But what I did was I was just not thinking about that. I was not thinking about that. I was thinking about the next kilo. And that is a reasonable goal. This is what a reasonable goal is, because if you have a lot of reasonable goals, the whole thing together can amount to an amazing, amazing achievement. You know, that is basically what it is. And I'm already talking for way too long, and I don't know if anyone is going to watch this. Like, who has the patience? But anyway, I hope that that is another message that you can just, I don't know, incorporate in whatever you need to get done in your life in order to achieve the goal that you want to achieve, you know? Because you don't need to be scared of losing 1 kilo. You don't need to. There's nothing scary about losing 1 kilo. You can do that pretty fast. And then you can just sort of set your mind on the next kilo. And this is how it's done. This looks good. Who would have thought? I know it's a bit wonky here, but that's because I'm talking and I don't care. So yeah. Okay, sweeties, let's go into this palette now. And let's maybe start with this shadow here and just push this in the intersection. The intersection. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure which brush to use, because I kind of need to be precise. But I'm just going to use a flat packing brush. And I'm trying to be, as I said, super precise. And I'm also going to try to keep this on the small side, because this is, of course, like more of a golden shade. It does have a slight green shift to it, but just a tiny little bit. But it's more golden than anything else. And then I'm going to, do I have another brush like this? Let us go in with that Moro shade. And this one right here. I think this is the shade actually that looks the most spectacular in the palette. It kind of looks different when applied though, I have to say. But that is of course because you don't have the camouflage separation on the eye like when you have it here. I don't know if you can see it anymore because I've used this shade quite a bit already. But anyway, but this is basically the green, but it is very, very gold heavy, let's put it that way. So this is of course then the shade that is perfect for blending into the gold. Okay, I will definitely have to fine-tune this and also get a little bit closer to the cut crease. I just cannot do that while I'm talking, so I'm going to do this off camera. Okay, then we need another shade, and now I just have to swatch them and hold them next to my eye to see what I'm doing. Now this here is a bit of more like a thinner, like a topper shade. So I don't know if that is what I want to do. I think I want to go a little bit darker. So I think I'm going to go for this one here in the middle. Because this one again is very, very gold leaning, you know what I mean? And I kind of want to have something that is a little bit more green. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's take another brush and let's take the shade Khaki. I don't know how one would pronounce it in English. Okay, this is of course not the super most green shade either, but that's how it's gonna look. I just feel like a look like this deserves a little bit more drama than kind of gold shades, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to of course finish this look. And I'm going to, while I'm doing that, think about what else I want to add to this topic. If there's anything for today that I want to still add to the topic, of course you're going to see the finished look, you're going to see my swatches of both palettes and the looks that I've done already, and then we meet here again for the finished look, finished styling, and the review part, so don't go anywhere. Okay, hi my lovelies, welcome to the finished look and the finished styling. Of course you have seen all the other looks now and also the swatches which I have right here of both palettes. So sweeties, this is how the look turned out. So let's just zoom you in so you can see what I did, and I'm also going to explain to you in a second what I did and what I used for the lower lash line, of course, because I did that off camera in order to save time. But it's not a complicated thing, so I'm going to tell you in just a second. So this is how the look turned out, and I'm really happy about the outcome, that it is not as drawn out, because I think a look like this is way more wearable while still being a full cut crease. It's just not super winged out, and I really like that. Yeah, so anyway, let us move you back into place. Okay, sweeties, that is what we did today. We used these two palettes, and let's just quickly talk about them. Of course, you see the sleeve is the same in both cases. Looks the same like the palette. You do have the ingredients on the back. In each one you do have a mirror, and you do have, of course, shade names, which of course don't mean a lot to me because I have no idea about Polish, you know? So anyway, this is the green palette. Let's just call it the camouflage palette, and the lavender palette. I don't know, just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, sweeties, that is what it is. What do I think? Okay, I started to work with the green one first because I always feel more drawn to greens, as you probably all know. I do have to say though that this one I prefer. I absolutely prefer this one, and that's the reason. The reason is that with this one you can create drama. With this one you can't. Maybe you can, maybe you can. I felt like every look that I did with the palette kind of ended up being super soft, you know, and I just need a little bit more drama in a palette. So what would I do? I would probably do something with these three shades here if I were to like redesign the palette. Just saying, there is nothing wrong with this palette. It just depends what your makeup style is and what you want in a palette, okay? I just feel like there could have been a little bit more drama because that is my preference, okay? But with that being said, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be for you, you know? I just like the drama. Okay, so if I were to redesign the palette, I would probably make a bigger difference in color between those two. They make sense. This one is a little bit more warm leaning and this is a little bit more cold leaning, but I feel for my makeup preference there could have been a bit of a bigger difference. I think the palette could have profited also from a green that is a little bit more green, even away from the typical army green, but a little bit like the green that I have on my waterline, you know, like a good normal mid-tone green. I think that could have added to the palette, and this one I would have made into a dark I don't know, hunter green or something like that, you know? This makes sense. It is absolutely camouflage. It's just that's what it is, you know? So I think it is really beautiful. Also the shimmers are really beautiful, but I feel still that everything you do with this palette is kind of soft, you know? The variety in the other one is bigger. Definitely bigger, because you do have this super dark shade. You also have this beautiful dark shimmer here, which is so beautiful, and you also have this one, which is the matte with the micro glitters, which is also really powerful and dark, you know? So for my makeup style, I definitely prefer this one. And I also have to say, with this one I did not have staining. Of course I didn't expect any staining here either, but here I kind of felt like there could be, but there wasn't. So what do I think about the performance? I think performance wise, as always with Glam Shop, they're super well formulated. You have to know though that they are very kick-uppy. There's a lot of kick-up in the pan, so that's what you have to know, but the performance on the eye is very good. It's a very good quality. They're super buildable, really nicely blendable. Also, like, not only buildable with one shade, within one shade, but also different shades on top of each other. And it's a pleasure to work with this if you can handle the kick-up. They're like, it's very kick-uppy. Okay, I personally don't care, but I think it's fair that you know. Besides that, the shimmer formula is out of this world stunning. I would though say that it's best applied with the finger. You know, this performance here that you see here, I don't think you can get that with a brush. At least I cannot. Maybe it's me, you know, but with the finger it is absolutely beautiful. I didn't expect any separating or creasing or anything like that. So I had a very, very good time with these palettes, and I kind of feel like of all the looks that I've done, this is kind of really, really my favorite, you know? So I highly recommend for you to check out Glam Shop if you have not done so yet. I know a lot of you have told me that you have already a Glam Shop palettes and that you're playing with them and that you're super excited about this brand. I am super excited about this brand. I'm definitely going to order more from that brand. Definitely on my radar. Definitely going to be featured here in the future on my channel as well when they're coming out with more palettes or whatever. I think this is amazing, not only for the performance and for what they offer, but also because it is in Europe, and I'm very, very excited about something so good happening in Europe. I just realized that I almost forgot to tell you what I did under my eyes. Of course, I have a green like this on my waterline, and you will of course find it all listed in the description box down below. And then for my inner corner, let me just go to this palette, the Camouflage palette. I have this shade right here. I chose that because it kind of has a purple shift to it, you know, a purplish leaning shift. At least that's one of the shifts that in this shade. Okay, and then I kind of just blended it into this shade right here. And that is all I did. That's all, you know? Nothing really complicated, because I felt that just makes sense, because if there is a green that has kind of a purple leaning shift, it just makes sense to blend it into a purple because it kind of feels safe also. Yeah, so that is that. That's all I did basically while I was off camera finishing the look. Please let me, of course, know down in the comments what you think. I also want to encourage you to head over to my social media, which will all be linked in the description box down below, for more looks and more inspiration, for swatches, for flat lace, for all of that. And besides that, of course, if you have not done so yet, then please subscribe to my channel, because that would just be awesome. It would make my day, and I think you would find a happy place, you know, and that just makes sense. Okay, besides that, of course, feel free to use my discount codes for shopping with the different brands that are also listed in the description box down below. And besides that, I'm going to wish you a wonderful day and invite you to come back for my next video, which is going to be super soon. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.